Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or wherever you can tune in and join my Pilates class. You're going to need some weights. So if you have some dumbbells, grab some dumbbells. If you have tin cans, grab some tin cans. Find something that you can kind of balance out both sides of your body. And then if you don't want to use anything, then just scrap that idea and we can just use the arm movements instead of actually the added weight into it. So go and grab that and then bring yourselves back to your mats and we're going to come stand to the back of the mats. So bring yourself, you won't be able to see my upper body to start with, that's fine because I'll just describe what I'm doing as we go along. I want you to spread your toes and ground down through your feet, stand tall. Take a long deep breath in, just closing your eyes and find the equal balance through both sides of your body, exhaling through your mouth. And I just want you to first of all just relax your body. Let your body just do nothing. Just feel your body slightly swaying from one side to the other. And then begin to activate your core, bending through your knees, tucking your tailbone under, squeezing the butt and the lower abs by pulling the navel to the base of the spine. And then take a shoulder roll as we inhale, exhale, just gently turning your palms forward as you bring your arms into a lateral rotation. Turning and releasing. Continue to keep your eyes closed if you can. And then slowly soften through the knees. Drop your chin towards your chest. And I want you to just keep your chin bowed down to the chest and roll your chin lightly over to the armpit, keeping your eyes closed as you exhale. Inhale through the center. Exhaling to the other side. Back through the middle again, over to the armpits, dipping the chin a little bit further. Inhale, center, and exhale to the other armpit one more time. Then back to the middle, keeping your chin dipped, soften the knees, and then scoop the belly in as you slowly take a back roll down towards the floor. So soften through the spine, and then let yourself hang. Make sure you're solid on your feet. You might want to put your hands lightly to the ground, or you might just want to hold on to your elbows, or you just let your arms drop. If they don't touch the floor, let them hang. And then just do a little gentle sway side to side, just allowing that give through the hips and the lower back, the flexion of the spine. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back to the middle on the exhale. Grab hold of your big toes or slide your fingers and hold onto the feet. Take a deep knee bend, look forward and lengthen out your spine, taking your eye gaze forward. Exhale, extend the legs, bow down towards the thighs, stretching out those hamstrings. Inhale, deep bend, lift and lengthen the spine, pull your shoulders back, extend, breathe. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, bend. So we're bowing down to deep squat, pushing your weight into your heels, and then you're pressing your weight forward into your toes as you extend and lengthen out through the knees. So weight into the heels, sink your bottom back, lift your eye gaze, extend your spine. Exhale, soften your spine, weight into the toes, and lengthen. Give me one more. Inhale. And exhale. Pause here. Gently release the hands, bring your hands in front of you, take a walk forward. Bring your body weight down, hips down in front, so your hips are lined up as a plank position. We're going to inhale, drop down the back knee. And I want you to just keep your front leg extended and push your weight into the heels to stretch your calf. So feel the backs of the legs stretching out. Take a breath in, lift that knee to join the other leg. Pause for a breath. Exhaling, lowering the front knee and pushing back into your back leg. So stretching out the calf. Take a breath in, exhale, extend both your legs. Pause there in plank. Lengthen out, squeeze through the belly. Inhale, lift your hips, walk your hands back to your feet, softening through the knees and rolling up on the exhale. Once you hit the top, roll your shoulders 3 times. Last time. Now take a breath in. This time, we're going to sink down into a squat position, lowering your weight down into your heels. So I am nearly at a 90-degree angle. You don't have to go as low as me. Swinging your arms forward, and then inhaling halfway, exhale, drop. Inhale halfway, exhale, drop. Soften through the shoulders. Squeeze your shoulders back behind you as if you're using your core to stabilize that lengthening in the spine. Keep your weight into your heels so your buttocks are fired up. 4 more. Squeeze the belly. Last 2. Last 1. Drop your fingertips to the floor. Extend those legs. Come on, let's stretch out these hamstrings. Take a breath. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, take a walk forward. We pause here. And we're going to drop down to the elbows. Feel free at any point to drop your knees. If you need to drop your knees, drop them and come into a half plank. So from there, if your legs are extended off the ground, we're going to do a knee tap, extend, and knee tap, extend. Okay? So we're now just mobilizing a little bit more through those joints, working the core, waking it up. If you're starting on your knees, you extend one leg, bend it back down, extend the other leg, bend it back down. So you're just reducing the range and make it a little bit easier. So wherever you are, we can go 4 more taps. Pause. Hold it, lengthen, squeeze that belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone drop your knees. Push up onto your hands, lift those knees, lift your hips, walk your hands back to your feet and roll it up. Roll your shoulders 3 or 4 times at the top. Just going to take off my top. Pause, find your breath. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to drop back down into that squat, lengthening our arms forward. Shoot your eye gaze through your fingers. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. So keep going, making sure, I'm just going to come to a side angle, making sure your weight is right back into those heels. And you lift, you lower. You lift, you lower. Keep the control. 4 more. Have a look at your feet. Make sure your knees are sitting above your ankles. Make sure your feet are parallel. Then lower your fingers to the floor. Hands to the ground. Extend those legs and stretch those hamstrings. Bow your chin. Soften your spine. Inhale, bend your knees. Take a walk. This time, we're going to drop down to the elbows again. Feel free to drop your knees if you need to. And we're going to go a little bit faster. So if you're here, just a little knee tap, 1 at a time, okay? If you're already on your knees and you want to just work a little bit faster, just lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, okay? Otherwise, tap, tap, tap. Now, my hips aren't moving. So if your hips are moving, you might not be able to tap all the way down to the floor. You might reduce it a little bit or lower your hips a little bit. Everybody tuck your tails under. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Lift up onto your hands. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees. Walk to your feet. Soften and roll it up. Good. Shoulder roll at the top. And we're going to go straight back down into a roll. Hands straight back down to the floor. Drop your knees and come to your hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to work into these shoulders. We're going to do push-ups in between, so we're still doing the upper body. And you can change your range how you want to. So the easiest position to be in is a box position where you are, where I am right now. So if you want to stay here, you drop your left, so I'm going to go with left and right. Left elbow to the floor, right elbow to the floor, left hand where the elbow is, right hand where the elbow is. So we're coming down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. And that's if you know that you're kind of quite weak in your upper body, you need to build, or drop into that half plank and then stabilize those hips and work in a half plank. Yeah? If your hips are wobbling all over the shop, you're not taking your core stability is not holding you in place. So you just want to reduce your range and maybe lift your bottom up a little bit higher. If you're comfortable with your core and your upper body strength, take your legs slightly wide and full plank, and then lower, lower, up, up, lower, lower, up, up. So you should be doing one of those right now, just working through it through your breath. If it gets too much with your knees off the ground, drop your knees down and work at a lower level. And just keep working through that same arm. Left, left, right. Sorry, left, right, left, right. And make sure every time your hand is going where your elbow is. Right, wherever you are, let's go 4 more. 4, 3, squeeze those out. 2, and 1. Hold it there, take a breath, and open the knees. Slide your body back, take child's pose, relaxing your arms and dropping your head to the floor. And you always know that if that's not for you, come away from your bottom and just curve your spine and stretch out there. And then perhaps you might want to ease your bottom back and go as far as you can. And then just bring your hands in, bring your knees in. We're going to go for push-ups. Now we're going to move through these push-ups. So you're going to do a push-up that's not so wide to begin with. It's slightly in, and it's kind of an in-between of a tricep push-up and a chest push-up. So what happens is, as I drop down, my elbows very slightly go back, so my chest and my triceps are active. Then step your front hand out wide and dip down into a full right-angled push-up. Then return the hand, one here, my back arm opens, you aim for your chest between the thumbs, and it changes the exercise into the chest. So one here, upper chest and triceps, one wide, center of the chest, and front of the shoulders. So just work through your breath in your own time, squeezing into your abs. Those of you who want to make it harder, take your knees back, come into a half plank and do it that way. But just make sure you've got the control. And what I don't want to see is that your hips are collapsing lower than your chest. If your hips are going lower than your chest, you need to bring your knees in and work on your core. Your core will control that movement. Some of you might be in full push-up position. Again, just make sure those hips are not riding lower than the chest. The chest is leading the way. The hips push up first. Keep reminding yourself of that. Your eye gaze is down or slightly up and not dipped head. Wherever you are, let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and I'm going for 1 more in the middle, and release. This time, knees a bit closer together, sitting back into child's pose. I'm going to interlace my hands behind my back and stretch my arms up and over. So even if you can't reach here, if you come up onto your knees, drop your head to the floor and then stretch there, or sit back into your heels, or come up onto your knees. But whatever you're doing, stretch the shoulders away. And then wherever you are, release the hands, come up. Okay, so we're going to take it into a walking plank with our right arm leading. So set yourself up. You might have been on your hands and knees working there. You might be in a half plank. You might be in a full plank. So starting on the hands, get a nice strong core positioning. Your right arm drops, your left arm drops, your right hand picks up, your left hand picks up. Breathe, 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 breathe. Inhale. So remember, you want to make sure those hips aren't wobbling side to side. You want to take the control. Use your upper body strength to control the movement. Use your tummy muscles to control the movements. My right side is a lot harder than my left. I'm going to drop to my knees. 4 more, guys. One more. Then lift the knees up. Hold on your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down. Just arch through the back. And then spin around on your bottoms and let your feet come in front of you. Grab your weights if you're using weights. If you don't want to use weights, you just do the exercise exactly how they are, just using the arm movements. I couldn't find my lighter weights, so I ended up with heavy weights today. So I just want you to keep your legs bent. Just try and push your toes towards the floor. I don't quite land there because I'm not very good at that forward flexion through my feet. And then just take your weights forward and just sink your head and chest down to get a little stretch through the lower back. Roll yourself up. So we're going to go into a half roll back. If you feel you need to have a bit of cushioning behind you, grab a squishy ball and place it in the base of your spine to the lower part of your back. Bring the weights to your shoulders. Elbows pulled in towards the rib cage. You softly drop back, quarter or halfway. Your legs can be bent with your feet on the ground, or you can extend your legs. It's your choice. From there, we're going to kick out frontal shoulder press, but a punching motion. So a very subtle rotation and in, rotation and in. Squeezing the thighs, squeezing the lower abs to stop yourself from twisting the hips and the pelvis. It's just work from the shoulders, the back, and the abs. And punch, and punch, and punch. And the higher you go, the harder it will be. The more you punch to the side, the more you'll get that rotation. Press, press. If you're not using weights, same arm movement. See if you can sink back another inch. Give me 8 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it up. Drop the weights and lift your spine up, or catch the legs to lift up. So before we come on to the next exercise, seated, slide your bottom to your heels and bring yourself down onto your back, taking your arms above your shoulders. My weights are together. Tuck the feet in. And when we're ready, we're going to inhale, exhale, roll up into a bridge. And we're going to bend our arms, so our elbows pointing to the sky for 1 arm extension. And then drop the elbows down and kick our arms back up. So 1 behind the head, lift, 1 slides down to the side and lift. So if you're not using weights, what I suggest you do is just firmly grip your arms, pushing your palms together. And as you bend your elbows back, really push your hands to activate the backs of the arms. And then slide down, lift, bend, lift. Slide down, lift, and bend, lift. And then if you want more, you can lower your hips as you bend, then extend, drop them down, kick them up, bend them back, and work into those buttocks, thighs, hamstrings. Coordinate yourself however you need to. You don't have to, you can just stabilize your hips. You might want to go the opposite way, where I bring my arms down, and then as I lift my arms, I drop my hips, then lift up as I extend, drop. Okay, there's no right or wrong, just get some coordination that works for you. 6 more. Last 2. Last 1. Extend, drop down. Extend your legs. Take a breath in. If you can, lift your chest to your chin to your chest, roll it up, lift up tall. Okay, so we're going to a combo exercise, biceps to shoulder press. My weight's a good weight for biceps, but it's a bit of a heavy weight for shoulders, so I'll do my best. I can show you alternatives. You can lose the weight completely if it gets too much. So bend the legs or straighten them. Roll back, quarter or halfway. Arms start to slightly in front. You take a breath in, exhale, curl up, turn, shoulder press. Drop back, turn, bicep curl. So it's a concentric bicep curl, rotation of the shoulders, pressing up into those shoulders, lowering back down eccentrically, turning those rotations back, and eccentrically taking the arms back. So when I do my shoulder press, my arms come slightly in front. Do not take your arms behind your head. If you take your arms behind your head, you're going to hyperextend your shoulders, and that's going to take all the pressure into your back, and that's when you're going to get pain in your lower or mid part of the back. So keep that awareness. If the weight's still too much, drop them. Or if you want to just use one weight, this can be done with one weight. The only thing about one weight is it will just change the rotation part of the exercise. So if you want to do it here, extend your legs, bicep curl, shoulder press, back and down. Bicep curl, shoulder press, back and down. So whichever one you're doing, 8 more. Five more of these. Come on, scoot the belly in. I've got a little bit faster. I'm quite aware of that. 3 and 2. Last 1. And roll it out. Take hold of those legs and just lift that spine up. Shoulders pull back and just enjoy that wonderful feeling of just pulling that spine out, lengthening it. Taking hold of your weights, just roll yourself down to the floor, taking your arms wide. Find your breath, plant the feet down, take a breath in, lift the hips, roll up into a bridge. Okay, so we're going to do flies, open, and you can add the hips. Now, if you want to add a little bit more movement, I'm just going to move to demonstrate that. So carry on doing your flies with your bridge or your moving bridge. And by moving bridge, I mean drop, lift, drop, and lift, just like we were doing with the triceps earlier. If you want to make it a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to drop your weights down, circle them all the way around the head and bring them back, closing them back. Drop, open, wide, circle them, bring them up, turn. So flies, if that's better for you, or drop the weights, open, turn your palms up so your chest muscles are stabilizing, back and release. If you're doing your circles, do 1 more, and then we're going to take it the other way. So lift your arms out and back, open, palms stay up, 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 and close. Drop them back. So this gets a full range of motion through those shoulder joints. You're stabilizing in that bridge. Really focus on squeezing your buttocks. 3 more. This is a really good weight to do. So I've got 2.5 on each hand, which really challenges all those stabilizing muscles. And then when you're ready, just roll out, open those arms out wide. Drop into the floor. So take a breath in, lift your legs up to tabletop, and then bring your arms above your chest. So another one you can do about weight. In fact, this is actually easier to use weights, this one. Now, again, we're working into that chest. So I'm going to let my legs drop over to you as my back arm opens out. Then we inhale back to center and to the other side. So the other arm just stays above the shoulder and we come to there. Fabulous oblique work. You have complete control using your tummy muscles. Take your legs straight if you want a little bit more challenge, but be careful you don't go too far, otherwise your legs won't come up, and then you'll pretty much fall over, which is possible when you're lying down. Whoop, like me, I nearly did that there. So I'm going no more than about a quarter of the way. Use those abs. So if you're not using weights, just be very careful you're not going that far because it won't balance you out. You might want to have both your arms out if you feel like you're falling, and then you've got your stabilization there. So definitely take those arms out if you're not losing any weight, and just work like a pendulum side to side. So 4 more, 2 more each side. When you've done your last one, stop in the center and let's go into our dead bug. So opposite arm to leg kicks away and comes back in. So I'm doing this with a straight leg. Usually it's tabletop and one arm and leg extends, putting back in. And if you want even more of a challenge, you can lift your shoulders so your upper abs are working and hold here. But please don't let any straining of the neck occur, and don't let your arms fall further than your head positioning. Otherwise, that's going to, again, strain muscles that should not be working. So pick what works for you. If your head's down, your arms can go a little bit further. Push your rib cage down to the floor. Keep a straight leg if you prefer. Work deep into those abs. Give me another 6. 5, 4, 3, lovely, and 2, 1 more, 1, and pause at the top. If you can, lift your head and shoulders, take your arms down by your hips, pump your arms. You might want to turn your palms down or palms in. You might want to drop your feet. You might want to drop your weights. Okay, mine are really heavy for arm pumps, so I'm going to lose the weight. I'm just going to pump here. Extend the legs if you wish. You can take your legs high. You can take your legs low. Keep the control. Keep pumping away. Squeeze up through those shoulders. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hug your knees in. Take a little rock side to side. Feel everything loosening up. Drop the feet down, slide your legs down. If you're holding onto your weight, lift your arms above your shoulders. Inhale, roll up on the exhale. Lift up tall, and then come forwards into a hamstring stretch. So, bend your knees, grab your feet, lift yourself up tall, and then fold down as you push those hamstrings away. Wriggle through the legs, extending and bending one at a time. Lift and lengthen up through that spine as you inhale and exhale, fall forward again. And then roll it up. Swing your feet back around behind you so you're on your hands and knees again. Okay, keep your weights nearby. 1 really is the only one that you need to use. And we're going to just carefully lift our knees up, walk our hands to our feet, Take a breath in, sink your bottom down, look forward, come into a squat and reach the arms. And we're going to inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Try and keep everything pushed back behind. Give me 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one, fingers to the floor. Walk forward. Now we're going to come into a plank position, legs wide, options to drop your knees. Lift up. We're going to feed my back arm to catch the weight, taking it over and returning the hand. Then the front arm catches the weight, takes it over and drops back down. So again, it's one of those things that's really easy just to shuffle your hips side to side. So if you're feeling like you're shuffling your hips side to side, then drop to your knees and feed and feed. So when I drop my knees, I can actually feel more of my abs working because I can feel the control over the stability of my hips. Whereas when I'm lifting my knees, as much as I can do it, I don't feel I'm actually getting as much benefit in the abs. So up here, I'm still working probably a little bit harder, but I don't feel all the tummy muscles doing what they should do. So if I drop my knees down, I've got a little bit more going on. Right, 4 more. Feed it through. Last one. And then everyone drop down to your elbows. If you can, lift those knees up and let's go back to our knee taps. Taps, taps, taps. So it's fast or as slow as you wish. If you're on your knees, it's a lift, 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 lift. Now let's work those tummy muscles. Come on, work it, work it, work it. Hips still, back extended, abs on. 8, 7, 6, 5. You can slow it down if you need to. 3, 2, and 1. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take one more breath. And drop those knees. Walk the elbows back. Park yourself down. I'm just going to push my knees a little bit wider and get a little bit more depth. And then just bring yourself up onto your hands. Bring the knees in, and I want you to just slide one knee forward, and then the other one parks behind like that. So as if you're leaping over a hurdle. Keeping your leg in this position, I want you to just drop your elbows just down in front of the shin and feel that wonderful stretch all the way through the buttock and the hip. And just allow yourself to sink and bow down, dropping the chest, finding your breath. And then from there, walk your hands in. Take one hand behind you. Keep your legs in position. I want you to lift your hips up and forward. So I've just pulled my hips up. This arm is going to reach, and I'm going to try and take a back extension by looking back, pushing my whole front forward, pushing my hips forward, and finding a wonderful side stretch. If that's not for you, just keep your buttocks down. Slide back, maybe lean into your elbow and then take it back there. Okay, that's your alternative to that one. Take one more breath. Bring yourself forward. And then whilst you're here in hurdle position, just pivot onto the buttock and extend this leg away. Turn towards it, lift up tall, and then let's stretch the hamstring this side. So if you need to bend your knee to catch the foot, do so. And then carefully lengthen out. Drop down and breathe into that stretch. So if this knee that's bent doesn't work for you in a bent knee position, then just free it so that it enables you to stretch into your hamstring. So find what works. Some people like to just pop a little cushion underneath or a ball just to give it a little bit more leverage. And just keep stretching down and reaching. Just noticing how dark my video keeps going, very dark, so I apologise, I'm a bit of a silhouette today. And on your next breath, just gently release through the leg, roll it up, and I want you to switch sides. So here we are, stretching this leg, turn towards this leg, interlace your fingers, reach up. If you need to bend that knee to catch your foot or leg, do so, and then stretch into that hamstring. And if you're using this arm, it's quite a strong arm, you might find you get that stretch into that shoulder blade as well, maybe your rib cage, even into the lower back. 2 more breaths here. Carefully just roll it up, free that position, and then slide that leg behind you. So now in hurdle. And then come forward in front of that shin. So you naturally lift this buttock off, but try and keep the buttock of this leg in the floor. And then push the hips back as you drop your head and chest down. So you might need to adjust the foot a little bit to get that stretch a little bit deeper. You might just lean a little bit more towards the knee. Really slow that breath down. And then begin to move up onto your hands. So this hand's coming behind, and then you're going to lift the hips up, the arm comes back, and we reach into a back stretch, side bend. So as you push your hips, you imagine you're just trying to open out the whole of the front of your body. And if that's too much for you, stay on your buttocks, slide down onto the elbow behind and reach there. This takes a little pressure off the joints. Find your breath. And then carefully bring yourself out, dropping down. And then just turn yourself around onto the hands and knees again. Take a little wriggle through the hips, curving into the spine of a cat stretch if you can. Reversing it, taking any direction you wish, just to loosen everything up. And then tuck those toes under. And then carefully lift the hips up into the air. We're going to find downward facing dog. So you might need to step back a little bit. I want you to bend your knees and lift your bottoms and extend your spine. And then walk through those legs to find that stretch to the backs of the knees, into the calves, into the hamstring. And slowly and gradually you push your heels together, lift your hips, and try and create that wonderful triangular position through the body. Scoop the belly in. One more breath here. And then bend the knees, walk your feet in a little bit, and then walk your fingers to your toes. One more time, we find ourselves doing a hamstring stretch here. So grab your big toes, slide your hands underneath your feet now that you're a lot more flexible than you were 40 minutes ago. And let's straighten out the legs, bow your head and chest down, and then get deep into those hamstrings. But wherever you're, if you're very tight in your hamstrings, really allow that deep bend and find a place you can catch. It's your arms that are doing the power here. So just really find that position. And on your next breath, stay with the soft leg, interlace the fingers behind the base of the spine and take a shoulder stretch. Twisting towards me, just turn and lift that shoulder a little bit more. Inhale, center, turn the other way. Inhale, center, lift those arms. And if you wish, extend the legs. You don't have to. Take your weight forward into those toes. And carefully just release the hands. Let them hang. And begin to scoop through the belly to slowly control the roll up through the spine. If you need assistance, hands onto the thighs and walk up slowly. And really try and close your eyes as you roll up through the spine. The chin lifts up last. And you roll the shoulders like you did at the beginning, up to the ears, opening your palms, you take them back down. Do that again. Begin to carefully open up your eyes. Palms forward. Stand tall. Squeeze the tummy. Relax a little bit more through the shoulders and the rib cage. And then with a soft arm, exhale your arms up. Just gently bring your hands together. Bring them down in front of the chest, giving yourselves a little bow, giving yourselves a clap. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your session, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.